Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Jared Fuller here. Today is Sunday, December 16th, 2018. So glad you could join me for another week of the Sunday video update. And as a programming note, next Sunday will be a Christmas edition of the Sunday video update. Next Tuesday is Christmas, thus a Christmas Sunday video update. So I hope you'll join me for that. So I hope you've had a wonderful week. My week, as usual, is always interesting. My life is interesting all the time, actually. And so that's probably what I'm going to discuss in this week's video. There is some good news, though. I got to meet my great niece, Skylin, for the very first time. I was sitting in a rocking chair and just kind of rocking gently and talking to her, and she was just looking up at me and doing this with her tongue. And she was just looking at me, and she kind of, do that with her, how babies, they do that with their eyes. That's what she was doing to me, but she was listening nonetheless. And Skylin is just absolutely beautiful. She melted my heart. The very minute I had met her, she was sitting upright on her bed because her mom, who was my niece, had, sat behind her where she could sit upright. And I walked in and I said, "Well, hello there, little cutie pie. You must be the famous Skylin." And she looked up at me and kind of, cut me a grin. And it's like, oh my gosh. And she is just absolutely adorable. She is beautiful. And I am so happy and so fulfilled in my heart that I got to meet her finally and got to see her and got to hold her for a few minutes and talk to her. She is just beautiful. Dad and Amy, they just walked through the door moments ago before I hit the record button, so they're out in the kitchen putting some food away. So as soon as they come in, they can say hello. I don't know if they can hear you. This microphone's very sensitive, so chances are they will. So come in and say hello.
Hello.
It's my dad,
Hello.
Amy.
Oh, she sounds like a man.
Say hello.
Hello.
So, yeah, there's a high point to the week. Yeah, you're. I think we're all kind of feeling that lately. Christmas season is upon everybody, and everybody's just, ugh,
I want it done and over with.
Me too.
Start over fresh and hopefully better.
Yeah, me too. 2019 so far for me, I've got plans for 2019. I've been talking with my friends. Last week I talked with a mom of a cancer warrior on the phone for a few minutes. It was wonderful. So it's been kind of an up and down week for me anyway. I can't speak for these two, but my week, as soon as my nose quits itching, my week has been fairly, good. I mean, I'm still here. I'm still breathing. So yeah, the things I wanted to talk about, there were a couple of things I wanted to discuss. If my nose would stop itching, maybe I'm going to kiss a fool.
Jared,
What?
you're fool.
Oh, come on, Dad. No, I'm going to kiss a fool.
Oh.
So you just called me a fool. Okay, well, I very well could be a fool. But there are a couple things I wanted to talk about this week, and of course, your guys' input is always welcome. No different from any other week. I do the Sunday video updates, but I got Dad behind me anyway. Amy snuck off in the bedroom, Miss Unsociable.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. She'll come back out. So a couple of things happened this past week that I wanted to talk about and get out into the open because I'm once again being portrayed as someone who's harassing people, and I'm portrayed as the lowest form of scum. Did you know about this, Dad? Did you know about that?
What?
I'm being portrayed as the lowest form of scum now.
From
And a weasel. From people on Facebook. But this is... Well, I did. Because the person who's saying this had blocked you. So I blocked them, What's good for the goose is good for the gander. But anyway, So what happened was there's this page, and I'm not going to say the name of the page. It's irrelevant.
But I'll get a hold of it.
Well, it's not about that. Anyway, I had found this page that is, in relevance to childhood cancer. And I started talking to people. I shared my story, and then I became friends with one of the page administrators. And we have been talking for a while. I was even hoping to maybe meet up for lunch because they live not too far from Michigan. They live in the next state to the south of us. So I was hoping to meet up with this person and maybe chat over lunch or coffee or something and get to know a person. And so what's never happened before happened again. After the person had shared a picture of me and one of my pediatric oncologists, Dr. Guerra, and shared my story on their page with permission, of course, with my permission, suddenly I wake up one day to find that I'm banned from the page, and then I contact this person, and I ask them, what's going on? Why am I banned from the page? Piece of hair. Why am I banned from the page? And I asked her that question in a Facebook message. Actually, she unfriended me first, and then I was banned from the page. But then I messaged her, and I asked her, what's going on? I want to know what the deal is. And typically, I got blocked. Okay? So then what I did was I emailed the person who runs the page. And I said, look, I just want to know why I was banned from the page. Just tell me, and then I'll leave it alone. Because if we're going to be talking and we treat each other kindly and nicely, and then 1 minute, we're not friends anymore, or you're banning me from a page, I want to know what's going on here. Because I'm trying to establish friendships with people, and if you're fed a bunch of gobbledygook and gossip and lies about me, I would want to know if that was the reason or whatever the reason may be. Especially after you went and shared my picture and my story on your page. Well, I emailed the person who runs a page, and instead of getting a response in relevance to the question I had asked, it was a non sequitur, like always. Don't ever email us again. Don't email the organization. Don't email the organization members. This is your first and only warning, and that was it. Well, I'm not going to take this lying down. So I responded and I said, warning, schwarning. Could you just please answer my question like an adult and stop tiptoeing and dancing around the question like an adolescent 12-year-old? And so I never got a response. However, now it's gone around on Facebook that, oh, Jared's harassing people again. No, I'm not harassing anyone. I asked a simple question. That's not harassment. That doesn't render as harassment. And so I'm right back to where I started again, and now all these people are, saying I'm this and saying I'm that. I'm such a weasel and a low form of scum because the page that set up is in relevance to a cancer warrior who passed away. Now, my heart goes out to that family as always. I do sympathize with people who lose their children to cancer or in any way, shape, or form, but this page, surrounding childhood cancer and the fact that the child had died from cancer, of course I'm going to have immediate sympathy. Well, now they're all verbally attacking me on Facebook and saying a bunch of crap about me. And then one of my friends wasn't going to take this lying down either, because she also used to follow the page, but I think she got banned too. And she had written a review. She had said, my friend Jared is a childhood cancer survivor and advocate. He's helped my family tremendously. My son has cancer, and he's helped us a lot. And by the way, my friend's not going to be mentioned either. And then the person responded to her, again, non sequitur. Well, this review is being taken down because Jared has been harassing us and slandering us. Well, let me tell you something. Two things. First of all, you claim that you operate and control a 501c3 nonprofit organization. That very well may be the case, although it's not currently listed on GuideStar. I wouldn't feel safe donating to you. And that's not a slam against everyone who has a 501c3 not listed yet on GuideStar. But in that regard, I mean, that's why I always share GuideStar. Because there are people out there who will prey on your vulnerability, and they prey on the fact that you are a person who is kind, caring, and giving, and they know that there's a sucker born every minute, and if they can sucker you out of money, they will do it. So that's why I share GuideStar.org. That's number one. Number two, if you do operate or control a 501c3 nonprofit organization, that is considered a tax-exempt status. It is a form of business where you accept donations and you help other families. That is a form of business. Public opinion is not grounds to say, well, they're slandering me and my 501c3. No, we're not. And it seems that you understand what slander is, you understand what libelous is, you understand what harassment is, although I think the word harassment is rather ambiguous, considering that I haven't harassed anyone and I just asked a question. Seems that you understand all these terms that carry baggage with the law and justice. The mere fact that you would use them, you understand the words enough to use them, that means that you do understand how justice works. And believing things for no good reason without evidence is an injustice, the opposite of that. And the fact that you understand the words in terms of the law being slander, you understand these words enough to use them, maybe you should then reevaluate how you treat the public if you're not satisfied with public opinion. Would you agree?
Yep, I do.
Maybe that, I don't know, it may be biased for me to ask my own dad, because my dad is liable to agree with me at any time or disagree, and you know, he has a right to do that. But it would only make sense. You don't go and treat someone like garbage because of what a bunch of people told you about them.
Gossip.
Yeah, gossip. You typically would not do that. If I owned and operated and controlled a 501c3 nonprofit organization, if someone has been terminated from my page, if they've been banned from a page that I operate and control as well, and if they reach out to me and they ask me a question, why am I being banned from this page? I'm not going to, first of all, avoid answering the question. I would be responsible enough to have a reply or a response, and I would give that person the opportunity for rebuttal.
You do it in a civil manner.
And you do it in a civil manner, correct. I'm not going to avoid these people. If they have done something wrong and I see that something is wrong, they get banned and they get terminated, and if they come to me and ask me somewhere else, you know, in any way that they're able to get in contact, I would be civil enough and responsible enough to answer the question. It is absolutely just, it's asinine that we have people out there who are doing things like this. And the fact that you would just go and believe what a bunch of people say, and I talk about this every week. I know I sound like a broken record, but this is important information that people need to understand as well. You understand words enough to use them, but yet what you're doing is an injustice. Especially when I haven't been rude or rotten or nasty. And for the person who is saying that I'm a lowest form of scum and I'm a weasel, well, first of all, I can't be two things at once. So you're going to have to kind of fill me in on what I'm supposed to be or what you think I am. And two, you have made a public post saying, well, tell that weasel to unblock me. Well, if you're going to engage in name-calling and pejoratives, I'm not going to unblock you. As a matter of fact, you have my email address. Anybody can contact me via email. My email address is in the About tab section of my YouTube channel. Why haven't any of you loudmouths on Facebook emailed me. I haven't received not a single email. Because you know that the answer that you give, although it may be the honest answer, it's going to be the ridiculous answer. Which is why you refuse to answer my question. And that's pretty much the case with anybody else who wants to just go and believe what they're told. And then they watch these videos and, oh, yep, Jared's behavior and his tone of voice and the use of his words, we can connect the dots. Look how he's talking on his YouTube channel and look how he behaves here on social media. I asked a question, for God's sake. That's not harassment, and I was civil about it. So again, I'm sorry that people want to believe what they're told all the time. I don't know what to tell them. But here I am. I mean, I feel great. I'm in an upbeat mood. I'm here for another week. I'm here for another day. So that's nice. And, I don't take a single day for granted. Because in honesty, the reason that I continue on and I don't let people get to me as much, I'll show you why. You see that scar on my stomach? That's a battle scar from Wilms tumor. I didn't give up. I fought and I fought and I fought. And I'm still here. You can't get rid of me that easily. Oh, and there's also a battle scar here on my wrist from ABGs. And there's also that mark right there from my port. I don't have a problem showing people my battle scars. I don't feel embarrassed. I know a lot of warriors do. They feel embarrassed, showing people their battle scars. Not me. Because when the going got tough, the tough got going. And I am a tough person. I'm very strong. And I don't need validation from anyone, whether negative or positive. I don't need the validation. I don't need people getting on Facebook and messaging people. These people are on the warning committee. There's an oncology mom whose child had passed away. I thought we got along great, but she is also now on the warning committee about Jared Fuller. Beware of Jared Fuller. Don't you people have anything better to do with your time? I mean, you are sad, pitiful, pathetic people. If that's all you have to do is to share my YouTube videos, put negative spins on them, and then warn people about me. You people are sad. You're just pathetic. Get a life. Do something with yourselves. Because while haters are always going to hate, the people who spend more time they waste more time hating on people who spend more time loving and caring. And I had made a meme about that. So, continue on believing what you want to believe. Continue on hating. Continue on engaging in pejoratives and trash talk about me on social media. I don't care. Because anymore, eventually it just becomes superfluous. It just becomes redundant. In which case, I just don't care. I don't care what you do anymore. Say whatever makes you feel happy about Jared. Say whatever makes you feel good. If putting me down makes you feel good, more power to you. But you just saw my battle scars, and I haven't gone anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So keep wasting time, and keep wasting the time of all my friends who also know better, and they don't believe your garbage or your nonsense. And I did mention briefly GuideStar, and so I'll put the link up at the bottom of your screen. It's guidestar.org. It has a complete listing of all of the legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs mandated by the Internal Revenue Service of the United States of America. Don't be fooled. Don't be duped. Visit guidestar.org today. And again, like I said, while it may be true that this particular page does have a legitimate 501c3 and they have not yet been listed on GuideStar, that is in no way, shape, or form an endorsement to let your guard down. Because you're always going to have scammers out there looking to snooker people out of money. There's a sucker born every minute, which is the prime reason I share the link to GuideStar every week, week in and week out. Because if anybody was exploiting me to get money or soliciting money for my parents, I know my dad well, there would be big major trouble to be paid, because you're not going to use someone's child to get what you want. And there are people who are so disgusting and willing to do things like this.
They still little cancer jars out of stores for people.
Yeah, I mean, we not too long ago, matter of fact, it was this year,
Yeah.
in a small town called Lennon, for those of you familiar with Lennon, someone had stolen a donation jar for a child battling cancer.
Yeah.
And she's in a whole lot of trouble, which makes my heart sing. I feel like Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music. I could just do circles on a hill. Anytime someone thinks they're going to cheat and rob someone who is in desperate need of help, and they get what they deserve by stealing, I love it. I could sing from a rooftop when people get caught and they're held accountable. I love it. So, but other than that, guys, just a couple of things I wanted to get out of the way. But yes, I've done the research. I've looked this up on Google. It takes anywhere roughly between 2 to 12 months for a nonprofit to be listed on GuideStar. And that's very well understood. As a matter of fact, I have friends, they are having a nonprofit organization set up in their son's name and in his memory to help other families battling the same kind of cancer that had taken the life of their child, which I find to be absolutely beautiful. And I love that family dearly with all my heart, and I wish them all the success. And in fact, I may even do some fundraisers of my own to raise money to donate to that organization. That may be my plans for 2019.
Yep.
Get involved in even more charities to have even further involvement. Because people who like to trash talk Jer Bear, well, that makes Jer Bear want to do more. People who try to silence Jer Bear, it makes Jer Bear want to speak more.
Makes me want to run with it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm armed to the teeth. Wow, I don't even know where to go from there. Other than people need to just cool their jets, and haters gonna hate. But yeah, other than that bump in the road, I mean, it was a pretty good week for me. I mean, I got to see Skylin, my niece. I want to talk about that. Just holding her. I mean, it's been a long time since I've held an infant. But, I don't know, when I held her, even for like just a split second, because she started to fuss. I said, "Here you go, Mom, take her back." And she squirms a lot too. But I was sitting in a rocking chair, and I'm just kind of gently rocking with her and talking to her. She's got a head full of hair. And I'm just looking down like, how you doing down there, Squirt? I'm just kind of talking to her and saying, the world is so big for such a beautiful little lady like you, and she's just looking at me, making that, doing that thing, that babies do with their eyes. And then her eyes started to get heavy, like she was going to fall asleep. I said, "You going to go to sleep on Uncle Jared? You go to sleep, baby. I'll sit here and I'll just rock you." And she goes, like that. You know how babies kind of like that. But she was going to go to sleep. She was going to go to sleep on me, but I handed her back and said, "Well, you better put her in her bouncer, And so that's what she did. But yeah, that was like the highlight of my week, and I got to speak to a mom of a cancer warrior, which was even more incredible. I've been keeping in touch with my friends on Twitter as well, and they are just amazing people. They're wonderful people. on Twitter. I couldn't ask for better friends and a better group of individuals that I consider my friends and my family, as much as I do on Facebook, as much as I do on YouTube, although I'm like honey that attracts the flies, because all the trolls like to come to Jer Bear. Like, they all gravitate towards me. Okay. Thanks for the viewership. Thanks for the views. Even if it is a thumbs down, thanks for watching. Thanks for giving me time in your day. Your angry, miserable, empty life. Thank you for using me to fulfill that void in your empty life. I so appreciate that. So appreciate it. Well, how are you?
I'm good.
You went hunting yesterday. And you
See a squirrel.
You saw a squirrel. Well, did you see any deer?
No, see a squirrel.
A squirrel.
You're
Yeah,
nuts.
Yeah, I bet he was nuts. we get a lot of squirrels out here. I mean, but we live in the country too,
There's
so
a lot of people like shooting people too.
yeah, and this is a very rare. I don't know how I didn't talk about this last week, or if I did, I just don't remember. It slipped my mind. But we did have a shooting in Chesaning that involved 3 women. That kind of thing never happens in Chesaning. Never. Not typically.
Who's stepping up?
Now we're getting this reputation.
Getting on the board again.
Yeah, and for not for good reasons either.
Getting on the map again.
But that is very atypical of Chesaning to have a shooting.
Weird.
We're not known for that.
Down the road from my cousins.
Oh, my nose itches.
Way down the road from Robbie's.
Yeah, and it was close to Kelly's. We're not notorious for shootings of any kind whatsoever. We're not even notorious for gangs. Chesaning, and not to put Chesaning down, but every town has its vice. Every town has its problem or its number one issue. And by and large, for the most part, by what I can tell, having grown up here all my life, Chesaning has a problem with drug dealers, drug addicts, and sex offenders. They are sporadic, but not murderers. We're not known for murder. We're not known for and robbery. We have car robbery. Like we have people breaking into other people's cars, breaking into homes. We have B&Es here too in Chesaning.
Lock your doors.
So yeah, if you're in Chesaning, lock your doors, lock your car doors and your house doors, and because we do have people like that.
Real watch.
I mean, sex offenders are pretty much everywhere, sadly and scary enough for the most part. Drug dealers, drug addicts, yeah, they're everywhere. I mean,
They legalize marijuana. They're everywhere now.
Yeah, well, I mean, they legalize marijuana here in Michigan. Recreational use of marijuana, by the way. So it's not just for medicinal purposes; it's also for recreational as well.
Well, that means
Which it should have been that way from the beginning, from the start.
everybody does.
Because the real crime is that you would have had to have hidden it. The real crime is hiding it. Now we don't have to hide it anymore, which is great. We should have never had to do that in the first place.
But the government's getting their cut.
Yeah.
That's why they're doing it.
Uncle Sam's getting his 5 fingers into that cookie jar, and if there's money to be made, for the government, of course they're going to get on board with it. They're going to tax it, regulate it, do whatever. But of course, I don't know if they tax it. Do they tax it?
Yeah.
See, because I don't
You
use.
have a dispensary uptown. You go buy something, you get taxed for it.
Yeah, because I don't smoke pot. I don't smoke marijuana. Not anymore. But
Back in the day.
I'm not. It's been a long time since I've smoked. I gave it up.
When you were a kid.
Yeah, I gave it up. Just not for me. But anyway, I don't know the government side of how they do. I know there's some regulation. There's got to be, because anytime the government
They regulate it.
anytime the government gets involved in affairs like this, they have to regulate, like how many plants you can grow, how much you can carry on you at all times. There's regulations. There's rules. So I'm going to get off that subject because I'm not really equipped enough or intelligent enough to be talking about that situation, because there are many more people who probably watch this.
As long as they leave me alone, I'm good.
Well, I mean, there's people out there who watch this and they think, well, Jared, you're getting it all wrong. You know, you shouldn't talk about things that you don't know anything about. And they would be right. So I'm going to leave it as that. I'm going to stop that right there.
Yeah.
But then, now, what else do I have to talk about? Yeah, Christmas is next
There
Tuesday.
ain't no snow on the ground.
Yeah, all the snow melted. So that's, for now.
It'll be 40 degrees.
For now.
Yeah.
Because this is only December, and Michigan,
January, February, March, and April.
yeah, the worst is yet to come.
4 months from now.
And my nose doesn't stop itching. Ugh.
Will you let me kiss Boo? Let me come kiss you?
No. Once was enough. So what did you get from Frank's?
Ham,
You got pop?
pop.
You got a ham?
I got one about this big.
A shank ham?
No, about this big.
Oh.
Sandwiches and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I like ham sandwiches. I like ham and
Good cheese is too expensive.
and bacon. I don't prefer turkey or anything like that. Ham and bacon. Good stuff. I like beef. I like hamburger and chicken. I like chicken. Huh?
Big butt pork.
Yeah, I like chicken. I like hamburger and steak when we can afford it.
Venison steaks.
Yeah, venison's good. I love venison.
Burger.
Beef jerky, venison jerky,
Venison steaks.
venison stew. So yeah, I enjoy meat.
Dad makes all that.
I eat meat. I also like salad. I love salad. Yeah. So now we're talking about food. I don't know how that escalated. But you know what I do miss that I used to buy all the time? Are those Snickers ice cream bars.
Eye patch.
Or the Twix ice cream bars. Oh, Dad's watching old episodes of the Match Game. They have a Match Game marathon every Sunday on the Buzzer channel. Hey, there's Richard Dawson. Hey, there's Gene Rayburn. And I think it's Charles Nelson Riley too. Brett Summers. Yep, Charles Nelson Riley.
Eye patch.
But anyway, and I know that was kind of brief, but that's pretty much how my week's going. I'm doing okay for the most part. Again, I have my ups and downs like everybody else, and there was there was a moment in time where I didn't feel important enough to people. But you know, I had people reach out to me and show me that is not the case. I am important. I am loved and cared about, and I need to be more involved with what's going on, and I can't stop doing what I'm doing because people like to talk. And, you know, they can share this video all day, every day, and put their own negative connotation onto it. I can't stop them. So if you're watching this on Facebook or Twitter or elsewhere, and you're here to trash talk, thanks for watching me.
Eye patch. Strawberry patch.
Okay, well, Dad's talking about clues on Match Game. So my viewers don't know what you're talking about, Dad. It's blank patch, strawberry patch, briar patch.
I'd say eye patch.
What's $500 prize is?
Eye patch.
Come on, show it. Show it. Show it.
Dog patch.
Dog patch.
What's a dog patch?
Well, that was weird.
I can see dog path.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Dad.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been feeling, you know, like really unimportant
Well, you're always important.
to a lot of people.
Don't let people get to you. Don't let them get on your skin. People like that haven't got a life of their own, so they got to go after people that try to do things because they're jealous because they never started it
Yeah.
or never thought about it. So Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And I had shared pictures today on Facebook. Pictures of my battle scars,
Yeah.
And this coming March will be 30 years for me. And so my only focus is just to reach out to people who are going through similar situations, and I have. A lot of my friends are still with me.
And Jared, did you tell them about my buddy Fred's daughter that was in the hospital?
Oh, Fred Priest. Yeah, so years ago, my dad used to work at this place called Thompson Boats in St. Charles. This was back in 1980-something. I was just a baby. But yeah, my dad's friend, his name was Fred Priest,
Good friend of mine.
really good friend of my dad's. At the time I was sick and at Sparrow, so was Fred's daughter.
Which didn't know it.
Same kind of cancer, same time, same place, same everything. My dad was coming up to see me one day. He stepped in the elevator. He was going upstairs to the ward where we were. And just as he was coming on, Fred was coming down. And Dad says, Fred, what are you doing here? Oh, my daughter's got cancer. What? Get out of here. My son has cancer. Really? What kind? Wilms tumor? That's what my daughter has. So, Melissa, that's her name, Melissa Priest, and she is very nice. I think she is a corrections officer in the Michigan Department of Corrections. But, so Melissa and I, we go back 30 years. We were in diapers together. We had chemo together. We did it all together.
Fred and his wife for years.
Yeah, so, I wish I could connect with her again. I wish I could find her. Because she's always been sweet to me, and I would like to find her and talk to her and ask her some questions.
I'll have to get a hold of Fred.
I wouldn't even know where he lives at now.
Lives up back there by the trailer park.
In Chesaning?
Yeah, but he lives in front of it, back in that one road.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I think I've shared that before, that story.
Right
But
down here.
where?
Right down here.
On our road? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I passed her house each and every single time. But her daughter, or his daughter, I should say, she had Wilms tumor like I did. She's got children, I think. I think she has kids. And she is a corrections officer for the Michigan Department of Corrections. I think she's a prison guard in Jackson or Ionia. I'm not sure. I don't know which prison that would be, because she's a woman, so she might even be at the women's correctional facility down in, I think there's a women's prison out in the Thumb.
Ypsilanti?
That's be Ann Arbor. That'd be southeast Michigan. I think out in the Thumb is where they have a women's prison. Bad Axe or somewhere? Carroll?
Carroll.
Somewhere anyway. There's prisons all over the state. We are good at putting people away. But yeah, that's one of the stories that I have. Well, Dad reminded me, of course. And I know this is hard for you and Mom to talk about, when being sick. But here's the thing. I chose to be an advocate. I did not choose to have cancer. Anybody who's ever gone through this never made this choice. They never made this decision. It was out of our hands. It was out of our control. We didn't plan this. We didn't ask for it, by all means. These are things that just happen. And while we're in this together, whether we're fighting, whether we've survived, or whether, you are a bereaved parent, we have to stick together in this. We have to keep going, because all this bickering back and forth and fighting and trash talk of one another, it's not getting anywhere. It's not getting us any closer to where we should be, and it's not helping the cause. When someone on the outside is looking in, they see all this fighting. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to get on board with what's going on, and they don't want to donate to people. They don't want to raise awareness. They don't want to do anything or have anything to do with it. I've come close. I've come this close from walking away numerous times.
I told you.
And my dad, my mom, and even my brothers, my friends, everybody says you cannot stop doing what you do to help people because you got people out there who just don't like you. Well, that's tough shit, isn't it? I have a lot of people who don't like me. Fine. I don't like them either. But that does not give them the right to sit there and talk a bunch of smack. And I don't talk any smack about those people, other than I am sick and tired of your bullshit, and sooner or later this is going to come to pass. You're going to make yourself look foolish and ignorant in front of a whole bunch of people, and yet they still want to preach about the importance of community. Well, guess what? Community doesn't do this to their own people. All this talk about sacred societies and all these different communities, groups of people together, that doesn't help the cause overall. That doesn't help move this entire childhood cancer world forward. We are stagnant because while everybody's in it for the same distinct reasons, everybody's also doing their own thing. You know, like this person here's got their own charity, an organization, this person here, so on and so forth. And when I started advocating in 2013, I wanted to work among everybody. I cannot stress this enough. I wanted to work among people, not above, not below, among people, where we're all on the same level playing field. It's not happening. It's not happening. When I talk about division in this group, there's people who disagree. You have a right to disagree. You are entitled to your opinion, because I'm entitled to mine. But all you have to do is look for yourself. That's all you got to do. Because we have clicks here, clicks here, clicks here, clicks here. That doesn't account for the community as a whole. I wanted to connect with people with like minds and like interests. I wanted to have that friendship with them. And I wanted to work with them to help get the word out about childhood cancer. My circle has gotten markedly smaller, which I don't care. I'm not bothered by that in the least, because I know who my real friends are. I know who my real true friends are. And I wish we could all work together. Absolutely. I wish everybody would get on board, and I wish everybody could get along. But no two people are always going to get along about every little thing, which is understood. But when you start acting that way according to what people are saying alone by that, that is dishonest. And I always hold people's feet to the fire when it comes to evidence and saying, look, you're making the claim, you better have something to back it up. Otherwise, you're just talking out of your ass, and nobody should listen to you. And I just recently, I was talking to a friend today, as a matter of fact. That's how recent that it is. Someone on Facebook is slamming her, putting her down, saying that she spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on herself and her kid, instead of putting it towards, the bigger cause or whatever. And I could be misunderstanding this. There's a lot of details that are missing, so I don't want to give this too much attention. But again, evidence. You're making a claim. Can you prove that what you're saying is sound and valid? If not, shut the hell up and be quiet. Sit down. Because causing turmoil among the community does the community no favors. And again, I have thrown out this idea of community based alone on the evidence that people are behaving as anything but a community. people who believe in community don't form their own underground sacred societies. They don't trash talk each other. They don't put people down when they don't agree with them. That's not community. That's people who just, they are intolerant of other people's views. Now, there's people who don't agree with me on a lot of things, and that's wonderful. They don't have to agree with me on everything. But I can say loud and proud every week in a Sunday video update that if someone is doing something wrong, they need to be exposed and they need to be brought out. That's not me causing division. The person who's committing the atrocity has removed themselves from reason and rational discourse when it comes to community. Because community doesn't allow, willingly and knowingly allow for the fakes and the frauds and the trolls to come in and infiltrate something that is so delicate already as it is. We need to correct that. And what else can I say? I mean, the people who are mad at me, I keep being mad, keep hating, keep wasting your time negatively, and I'll keep doing what I need to do to help other people. Because people who waste so much time hating on people who spend so much time of their so much of their time loving and caring on other people, it's the people who are doing things physically and raising awareness and helping other people. Those are the people who are making the difference. The haters, they just have to sit in their own little dark room and be mad at themselves and continue on with living their miserable, empty lives. Because I'm ready to get to work. I've been ready. I mean, I've been advocating for the past 5 years. Next year will be my 6th year being an advocate, and I plan to do a lot more than years past. I've already been on my first airplane, my first jet ever. I've been to New York, Albany, New York. I stayed with some friends out where they live at in upstate New York for the weekend, and they already want me to come back. They mentioned, or the mom mentioned that, well, you know, we want to pay for you to come back. I don't expect you to pay me to return. That's why I'm going to do my best to save up money. And I don't expect anybody to pay for my ticket. I don't expect for anyone to pay for my anything. It is a nice gesture, make no mistake, and I love this family dearly, but I'm not expecting them to pick up the tab and putting themselves in a financial burden just because they want me to be there. You know, and it's just like I told her, you take care of your family affairs first. You pay your bills. You get a nice car. You get stuff for the kids. You take care of you and yours first, always. I don't expect you to buy my ticket. If you can't do it, fine. If you can, either way, fine. And if you do, I'll pay you back. I've already said that I would pay the people back. I think Dad fell asleep. You awake over there? Wake up! My talking is enough to put anyone to sleep. But anyway, this is kind of a short and sweet Sunday video update. I've been here for about 50 minutes, and it's already going on 4 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go get something to eat because Dad got food. So what exactly did you get? You just got ham?
I got chips.
Oh, yeah, chips and...
Chips, pop, ham, bread.
That's about it. Okay. But anyway, I thank you so much for watching again this week. And I hope that the upcoming week, this week, will be good for all of you. And, excuse me, don't forget that next week will be a special Christmas edition of the Sunday Video Update because next Tuesday is Christmas. So, until we meet again, gals and gents, much love to all of you. Thank you for watching. Same bear time, same bear channel next week. Until I see you again, I'll be seeing you on Facebook and Twitter. So until we meet again on YouTube, have a wonderful week and take care. Bye-bye.